Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here, coming at you today with some more comic news. Yesterday we took a look at some cool new multiversal teams from a preview for the Power Rangers Infinite comic, which was pretty fun. But today we got an announcement for another new one-shot called Power Rangers Across the Morphing Grid. It's going to be coming out October 30th, and it's going to be like an anthology book. It's not like a series. I kind of wish it was a series, and I'll talk about that a little bit at the end. But it's going to be kind of a one-off anthology book, sort of similar to the annuals we used to get. I talked about a while back how I do miss when we got those annuals, as they would have stories from series from all over the timeline, not just MMPR. But this one is going to be anthology, and it is going to have a little bit MMPR-esque leaning in terms of the characters, because part of the big deal is you have some of the actors writing stories. You're going to have David Yost writing a story, you have Nakia Breeze writing a story, you have Steve Cardenas writing a story, and then you have Megan from Hyperforce writing a story as well. And that's kind of cool, and it seems like they're going to be, obviously, their show versions. You know, Megan's been writing for the Hyperforce stuff with the comic and in the one-shot we got, and kind of continuing that version of the character. But from the descriptions we got, it sounds like it's going to be based on the show versions of the characters rather than the comic ones. I'll put up little clips of some of the quotes to get it exactly, but from stuff I remember, like David Yost is going to be exploring Billy at like the age of 28, some sort of older Billy stuff. Maybe we'll find out a little bit about how like Cranston Industries stuff was put together, maybe restoring the powers. It might just be focused on him, but I imagine since he was, you know, involved in Once and Always, we might get just some connections, but maybe not like prequel-y stuff, but you know what I mean, like stuff that would be like, you can draw lines from where he was in the series to this, to then Once and Always. And then Nakia Breeze mentions one like whatever happened to Adam and Adam and Tanya. And that's kind of interesting because I like that idea for the story, because we haven't got a whole lot of Tanya stuff post that era. We have seen Adam quite a few times since then, and I, just said Aisha there because I was thinking about how him and Aisha wind up at SPA. I don't know if that will come into play at all, but I'm certainly looking forward to that. And I kept mistakenly thinking that Johnny Young Bosch was also writing for this because of that line about Adam being in it, but that's still pretty cool. Steve Cardenas mentioned something, I believe, about it exploring Rocky's background, which could be kind of interesting. I've been talking about how the comics have kind of underserved their variants of Rocky, Adam, and Aisha, so maybe it'll be interesting to get something for this. And then the Hyperforce one sounds like it's going to be this like just more fun, funny adventure. It talks about like Vesper being a sous chef or something. Like, honestly, that's probably the one I'm most excited for, just because I love anything Hyperforce related, and I'm looking forward to more of those antics. But I like the idea of this. I wasn't as excited about the Infinite comic until we got those things yesterday. Now I'm like, that can be kind of fun, but I'm probably more excited for this initially just because I do like those anthology comics where we get to explore a bunch of different stories. I think that's fun. It is just going to be a one-shot, but I think this would be a fun ongoing series. I'm still immensely curious what's up next. They keep teasing that there's going to be more stuff at Comic-Con, and I'm really curious because they're just making such a big deal about ending the main continuity, but they're also very clearly not losing the license and not stopping making comics. So I'm just so curious what's next. Like, honestly, I'd be shocked if it wasn't somehow MMPR related as the main comic, which it kind of usually has to be. But setting that aside, I would love for this to be like a different on-running series, like running alongside it. We had Go-Go for years as a secondary comic. It would be cool. This would be a cool one to do. Maybe one that doesn't release as often as the main comic, but that would be pretty fun. And you could keep it so, like, let's say there's 4 stories per comic, or 3 or whatever. You could have 2 out of the 3 or 3 out of the 4 be Mighty Morphin related to get the casuals, but then, throw in some stuff like a Time Force story or a Ninja Storm story, or, like with this, it kind of showcases that these characters encapsulate multiple different eras. Like, one of the variant covers is Zeo, so maybe there'll be some Zeo stuff involved with the Tanya and Adam stuff. So that's the nice thing about when you dip into these eras, is that you can do MMPR characters, so you might get somebody be like, oh, I remember Adam from MMPR in the movie, but then you can sneak in some stuff from his later days in the timeline, and that'll, please the older fans too. I also like this idea of getting the actors to write some of the stories. I find that to be interesting. I thought that was pretty cool that we got to look at that with MMPR The Return. I thought that was really neat, and I'm looking forward to this. So yeah, I'm stoked that the comics are still going in some form, but again, just immensely curious what the new mainline comic's going to be, or what the new main thing's going to be, but we'll find out pretty shortly here because Comic-Con's on the horizon. But what do you guys think of this? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for all my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.